You know those awareness weeks where you didn't really know that it had happened until you see online where it's like, oh, it's this week, this awareness week. It helps us explore, learn, understand better different causes, issues, and just things that are going on in our lives today. We get to learn about this. But for the first time ever this year, we're marking World Female Ranger Week, and it started on the 23rd of June, and it's been launched to celebrate, support, and promote female anti-poaching rangers around the globe. So British adventurer and founder of the initiative is Holly Budge, who's with us to tell us more. Welcome to Radio Oxford, Holly. How are you?
Hi, Fleur. I'm really good, thank you.
Good. It's really nice to be able to speak to you. Can you tell us about the charity behind this project? It's called How Many Elephants? Why is it important for the people in it to shine a light on female rangers? Because I never hear this in the news.
Yeah. So I founded How Many Elephants? I started working on it 9 years ago whilst I was studying for a master's in sustainable design. And I was actually researching a material called vegetable ivory, which is a nut from a palm tree from South America. And it was its material similarity to elephant ivory that got me researching the African elephant crisis. And I was so horrified by the data that I was reading of 96 elephants a day that I decided to use my background as a graphic designer to come up with a fresh awareness raising campaign. So I have an exhibition that travels around the world showcasing 35,000 elephants on a wall. And it's quite a sight to see. It's all visual, it's non-gruesome, it's non-gory, it's non-political. I'm just visualising the data. And that's how I got involved with the female rangers. So I've spent extended periods of time on the front line across Africa. And I was so inspired by these women and the work that they're doing. That's where I set up World Female Ranger Day last year. And then we found one day just wasn't enough because I've found over 4,500 female rangers over 18 African countries and 5,500 worldwide. So this year it's become World Female Ranger Week, and it's a platform to allow these rangers to share their stories and share best practice and to raise awareness and funding for them.
This is why I love awareness weeks like this, because I wouldn't have known if you didn't set this up. Can you give me an example of what it is like to be a female ranger? What does their work involve? What qualities do they have to work with wildlife? Can you let me know a bit more about that?
Yeah, definitely. So the rangers that I've spent time with, admittedly, that is mostly in Africa. So their daily tasks involve monitoring the wildlife. They'd be dismantling and seizing snares, and they'd also be going into the local communities, into the schools and working with the local communities to educate them how best to preserve and conserve their natural heritage. And the female ranger movement is picking up such great momentum because women around the world are proving to be so successful as rangers protecting the wildlife, but also as educators, role models and beacons of hope.
What's it like getting into that as a job then? Because I think children who are looking up to female rangers would absolutely love a job like that. What are the kind of requirements for a job like that? What do you need to be? What do you need to be like?
Well, I think, definitely these rangers are inspiring lots of young women and girls to start looking down that route as to how they can get involved with conservation and becoming a ranger. But I think women bring a really unique perspective to conservation. The female rangers, as I said, are strengthening relationships within the communities and easing local tension through the power of conversation. Plus, in Africa, they're investing their earned income back into their families. So the ripple effect of employing women is huge. So a big part of it is for them to be inspiring the younger generations to take up that line of work.
I bet they find you so cool. And also, we have to talk about Sir David Attenborough. He's helping endorse your work. Tell me about that.
So my hero, along with many other people's, I'm sure. So I, as a designer, I've done lots of different designs around my work and to raise awareness. And I actually sent one of my pieces of work to him for his 94th birthday, and it was a limited edition print, and I sent him number 94 out of 96, and he got back in touch and loved the work and thanked me for all that I'm doing to help protect African elephants. So that was quite an exciting day, receiving that letter.
Oh my gosh, chills would go down my spine. I bet they did for you. And also, you are a very adventurous woman as well, because you're the first woman to skydive Everest.
Yeah, and more recently I climbed to the summit, and
oh my gosh, Holly, what are you doing?
Well, you know, I actually found Fleur for many years. I wasn't sure how to combine my passions of design and conservation and adventure, and it's only in the last few years that I felt very fortunate to be able to, you know, live out my passion and my purpose in what I believe is my purpose in life, and that's my charity, How Many Elephants. So the design, the adventure and the conservation all feed each other. And I realised doing these big adventures is a fantastic way to raise awareness and funds. I get sponsored to do the adventures. And then it's also a really good way of getting the global media on board. So that's kind of the motivation behind doing it. What better place to shout from the rooftops than the summit of Everest?
I mean, you make a fair point there, Holly. I really can't argue with you there. Thank you so much for speaking to me, and thanks for all you do to raise awareness about female rangers. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your evening, Holly.
Thank you. And if anyone wants to find out more, it's worldfemalerangerweek.org, and there's lots of ways to get involved.
Lovely. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Holly. Thank you. And yeah, try and support your female rangers, because we never think about that in your 9-to-5 job. When you go home somewhere in Oxfordshire where you live, do you ever think, what's it like as a female ranger? You probably don't, but yeah, you can always go online, World Female Ranger Week, type that in, and you'll be able to see how you can celebrate, support, promote female anti-poaching rangers around the globe. We definitely need them. And